You know, Chibi pointed out, they said, what is with shows that have names of months in them that are just so sad? Like, what the fuck is with that? Like, what is with shows that have a month in it, in the title? Makes them just so feel heavy. March comes in like a lion. Damn. This was such a sad episode. The message and all that, it's like, damn. So, the big point about this series I think I'm really enjoying is the blend of happiness and tragedy all in one. Just the way that it's going back and forth. You see these happy moments and then you go into these sad moments. It feels like there's enough build up and enough of these happy moments to cherish the other moments, even the sad moments. And you're just like, damn, this series, the way it just goes back and forth like that, it's just a perfect atmosphere for it. And especially with the way the color scheme is. Like, the color palette of March comes in like a lion when you see the different color schemes, like the black and white atmosphere, and then all of a sudden you see these glowing colors. I feel like that adds more oomph to the series, like, more, life to it. And when you saw the scene with the sun, like the sun just coming down, baking our characters, it just emphasizes how hot it was, how the heat was literally melting them. That scene added so much emphasis to it, and you could really almost feel the heat. Even though it's kind of a cool day, I'm wearing kind of a long sleeve, you can almost feel the heat when you're watching. You get immersed into it because you can see that the characters, that what they're dealing with right now, in a way, they're very stressed because of them going at each other, and they don't want to lose, they want to win, but also the sun is baking them. And so overall, when it came to the emphasis on certain things, like these little effects and stuff throughout the episode, it just made it so much better for me. I mean, the one scene that really got me is definitely the scene to where the main male character, Ray, he's just sitting back and all that, and he's looking at Hinata, and he sees her just staring off, and she just screams out. And that scene shivered down my spine. I don't know what it is, but scenes like that, especially scenes that don't have any audio, but you can know what they're saying, you know what they're screaming, their sadness there. Like, that scene, when there's just no audio, and you just see her trying to scream at first, it's so sad, because she was holding it back. She was holding in all this grief, all these emotions, and then she finally just expelled it out, just yelled it out because she couldn't hold it any longer. And to make it even worse was when Ray, he's went through this. He's experienced this in the past. I mean, we know some of his backstory. We don't know the entire picture, but we do know as a character, he has lost his family. He lost his original family, and then the family that adopted him, they weren't really that good of a family. So this is kind of like his third family he's been with. And we know he's lost a lot, and over time, at such a young age, what age he was, he just disconnected himself. He just shut down. He shut down. He just didn't care. Like, he just let go of everything that really harmed him, and he just engrossed himself into shogi. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't give a shit anymore. He just pushed aside the mourning, the loss, and all that. He wanted to just focus on one thing, and it's kind of sad when you think about it. When he sees Hinata like that, and he's staring at her, he realizes that he knows what she's going through, but he can't do nothing for her. Even if he was to go over there to try to say something, there's not really much he could do to make it better. He can't say, I'm sorry, because, it's not really his fault. He just knows them. But also on top of that, you have to realize that it would honestly, he doesn't know what to say either, because he shut himself off for so long from his original emotions. He doesn't know what to probably say and how to comfort her in any way possible. And to make it even worse, he knows this. He realized this in this episode. He realized that I'm not acting right. What I did, is there something wrong with me? You could tell the way he was moving, the way he expressed himself, or the way he was drawn throughout the episode. You could see, especially towards the end, he knew whatever he did in the past, maybe he didn't handle it the best way possible, or he realizes maybe he's different, he might not be as properly balanced as other characters. So, it made me sad. It definitely made me sad when I saw those scenes in this episode, and seeing Ray act like he did. It just hits you. It really just smacks right into you and hits you really hard. And then that's not even the end of it. I mean, that was one of the saddest scenes, but another one was the setup for something sad to come, and that would be the rival of Ray's. As we know, we were introduced to this character in last week's episode. We found out about the rivalry between these two characters and all that, and we get a little bit more insight to it with this week's episode. And Ray's rival, that he's known for quite a long time now, a very long time since he was very young, apparently he's been having kidney failure for a long time. Like, his kidneys have been going down, like, you know, not functioning properly. And the way he's affected, he's sweating, he grows pale and stuff. We see signs that his condition is probably getting worse over time. And the way this series has already offered up so many feels to us, like, we can already feel the sadness and tragedy with these recent, you know, episodes. I'm going to bet you right now that most likely that character, he's probably going to come face to face with the situation to where his rival, most likely he's probably about to die, and he's going to have to get a transplant or something to help him, or he's just going to legit die, and, you know, the main character's going to have to deal with loss once again. Something like that might happen, and I wonder, you know, how he's going to take that, because, I mean, at this time, as we know, he lost his original family, and we see that he kind of shut himself down, and, you know, he just didn't open up anymore. He just completely shut down and focused on one thing. I wonder what type of reaction he would have if his rival that's cared about him for such a long time was to die like that, and if he was to find out the truth about his kidneys, how would he react? So that's probably going to be some form of, you know, plot point for the future of this series. I can definitely see that happening, because, I mean, the series already being this much feel heavy, that's going to be a big point of the series. So, regardless of that, let's just look at, you know, the different themes of the episode when it came to, like, the colors and stuff. Like, one of the big ones was definitely when you saw, like, the black and white scene to where the main character ran it towards the end. You saw to where his world was black and white around him. And as we know, this is where he didn't feel anything. Just everything was black and white, emotionless, he just didn't care. But then after you saw this black and white world around him, he looks at Hinata, and you see the world just shine. You see this bright, vivid colors. And you see to where he started to open up and realize, you know, well, what the hell? What's wrong with me? You know, this is what I was seeing before, but now I see this. And that emphasis with the art and animation made that scene's execution so much better. And then also, I like the little detail there, the way nothing was really focused on. Like, it wasn't focused on completely, but it was enough to where you're like, holy crap, I like this character even more now after what he just did. So, while Hinata was in the park, and she was just screaming her lungs out, just letting out her emotions, her sadness, and all that. You see these two guys walking up behind her. She doesn't obviously see them. She doesn't see them. She's just, you know, so overcome by grief, she's just not paying attention to her surroundings. These two guys are walking up behind her, and they look like they're gonna start trying to hit on her, try to do some things to her, like, you know, normally you would see in a show like this. And so, when I saw something like that, I'm like, yo, is this about to fucking happen? The main male character, he quickly dived in front of them. Like, it wasn't emphasized a whole lot. You just saw how he quickly got in front of them, and he just put his hand down and all that, and they just, like, backed off, and they just walked away. They didn't do nothing at that. There was, like, no dialogue between the characters. It's just the way he walked there, got beside her to protect her. That was such a great thing to do. And the way the animators handled that scene, I felt like it was the proper way to handle it. It wasn't emphasized enough to where it removed the impact of what the main point of the scene was, but it was there enough where we could understand that the main male character, he was trying to protect her. He was trying to, you know, keep her safe, but also allow her to vent and let out her emotions without being disturbed by other scumbags or assholes that decide to come by and take advantage of her. So, well done. Well done. March comes in like a lion. Such a good anime. It really is. It's really a good anime. Definitely, probably, besides, you know, I've said before, besides Drifters, besides Haikyuu and stuff that I know would have been good, this is by far my favorite series of the season, of fall, easily, because I just love the mature things about this, the mature themes and all that when it comes to the shogi stuff. But one of my big things, though, actually, before I end this video, that I'm a little bit sad about, is that I really wish I knew more about shogi, like if I knew how the characters were playing and stuff. I mean, I've seen enough shogi and anime to understand kind of the concept and all that, but I don't know the individual pieces and what directions and all the stuff they can move. I don't know a whole lot of information about it, and it kind of saddens me. I really wish I would take the time to actually focus in and try to learn more about shogi, for I could appreciate some of these scenes that might be more symbolic to the characters, especially with this episode, when you saw how the rival of our main male character, he didn't give up, and he finally just submitted, and he said, I lost, when he couldn't do anything else. It just added more emotion to it, and I wonder if I could understand the board, understand what was going on, would I understand their feelings so much more and appreciate this series. And even speaking about that, like speaking about shogi in general, the match lasting all day long, that's incredible. Holy crap, I just can't imagine that. I mean, imagine sitting down, playing a board game, not like Monopoly, just playing like a game that's like chess, and having it to where it lasts all day long. It lasts in the middle of the day to all the way at night, and then you finally conclude it. That's a long match. That's a very long match, just to sit there and all that. And that has to be bad on the man's kidneys. That really has to be bad on him, for him to be sitting that long and all that. So when you think about it, the man's probably hurting himself playing these shogi matches, but it shows you how desperate he is and how much he wants to win, for him to continue to drive and force his body to do these type of things. I mean, think about it. He was sitting down that long, and his kidneys are hurting, and he was still able to function and hold off that long against the main male character, and then when he finally lost, then he allowed himself to start feeling pain from his kidneys. So when you think about it, this man was holding back his pain and all that just so he can have this match with his rival, and he did not want to lose. So those emotions, it's pretty sad too. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.